Good afternoon. I want to welcome you and everyone to our March 15th regularly scheduled board meeting. And we will go right into our business meeting. And Ms. Buckner usually has a disclaimer right before we get into the action item agenda. So we should be hearing from her after we approve the agenda. But today's inspiration is Ms. McCrae submitted an inspiration for our March meeting. All right, thank you for that, Ms. McCrae. We appreciate that inspiration.
We do.
And I'm sure that was in honor of Women's History Month for March. I saw the quotes, I think, from
Melinda
most.
Gates.
Yes. All right, today. Yes, go ahead.
I was just going to comment. That was a very good quote. That was a very good quote. I appreciate that, Lori, about bringing everybody in.
All right, thank you. Ms. McCrae doesn't have audio.
Miss McCrae, your audio it doesn't appear to be on mute, but you do not seem to be coming through on your audio. You might want to check your audio source.
And
And
while you do that, Ms. McCrae, we will listen for the Pledge of Allegiance and Character Word brought to us today from Club View Elementary School.
Good evening. We are proud to represent Clubview Elementary before your meeting tonight. My name is Fletcher Berard.
And my name is Alex Mangione. We'd like to begin with our character word of the month, which is forgiveness.
Forgiveness is about letting go of things you cannot change.
It's about saying no to hostility and resentment so you can free yourself from negative emotions that weigh you down.
By forgiving people, you reward yourself with peace of mind and achieve a sense of closure.
Through forgiveness, we can make the world a better place.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Clubview. Thank you. We appreciate the boys and girls, and we certainly miss seeing them. Next agenda item is I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion by Ms. Jackson. Second by Ms. Buckner. We're ready to vote now. Do we need a hand vote?
This one's a hand vote, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. I count. Okay, that passes.
This is Ms. Chambers. I vote yes.
All right, thank you. Voting. Make sure everyone, if you can, get logged in so we can vote electronically. Next, we'll move into our recognitions. 2.01. Board members, if you met the courier today, you had an opportunity to receive some treats and gifts. We had something from Reese Road, Peace Lily, from a certificate from our superintendent. We had a glass tumbler from Blackman Road Middle School, and
Eagle Ridge.
we had something from Eagle Ridge, okay.
Glass tumbler, yes.
Okay, and then we had MCSD math. So we appreciate all of you for thinking of us.
Madam Chair, I have something I'd like to read, if I may.
Yes, sir.
The week of March 15 through 19, 2021 has been proclaimed School Board Appreciation Week in Georgia and sponsored by the Georgia School Board Association. The week-long observance calls attention to the contributions of local boards of education. Citizens elect board members to represent the community's voice on education matters. Our board spends countless hours fulfilling its responsibilities and working together to continually improve our education system. The men and women serving the Muskogee County School District and their years of service are Mrs. Pat Yulee Green, 17 years of service, Mrs. Lori McCrae, 5 years of service, Miss Naomi Buckner, 19 years of service, Mrs. Kathy Williams, 5 years of service currently in this term, and previously 8 years of service in a previous term, 2 previous terms. Mrs. Kia Chambers, 7 years of service. Dr. Michael Edmondson, 3 years of service, and posthumously we recognize him for his 3 years of service. Miss Vanessa Jackson, 5 years of service. Dr. Philip Sly, 3 years of service in this tenure, but 21 years previously. And Mr. Mark Cantrell, 11 years of service. As constitutional officers of Georgia, school board members are responsible for setting educational policies, employing the superintendent to provide buildings and equipment, operate a transportation system, and approving the annual budget to ensure the distribution of funds. As community leaders, school board members serve as advocates for the children in local boards of in local public schools and must study, evaluate, and decide what actions are in the best interest of the students they serve. And on behalf of a grateful community, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your years of service and commitment to the children of Muskogee County. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Want to thank each of you for your service and commitment as well. It's a lot of sacrifice, and it certainly is appreciated. So thank you for your service. 2.02 is Youth Arts Month.
Good evening. I'm Robbie Holt, and we have a performance video for y'all, along with it's Youth Arts Month. That means all the arts. Youth Art Month, Music in the Schools Month, Dance Month, Theater in the Schools Month. And you will also be getting virtual galleries that show all of our elementary schools. We have one that one of the teachers helped set up with us on that. And the museum is working with our middle schools, so you'll see that later in the month, and also Bo Bartlett Center with our high schools. But what I want to share with you tonight on the link is the performance video of the first Georgia Honors Guitar Ensemble. 7 Rainey McCullers School of the Arts classical studio guitar students were accepted and part of the group that's comprised of individual performances by high-achieving players of the states. They had both traditional and virtual students that were able to participate. Please enjoy, and we want to congratulate all 7 students and their teacher, Michael Gradovich. We ready? Congratulations to their teacher and the students.
Absolutely.
That was outstanding.
As well as to whoever was the producer or director of that ensemble, because when we're all in person, like you know, over a year ago now, we do get to have that personal interaction with the students, but this really showcases their individuality and their talent, and then also whoever produced it, their talent as well. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good.
All right, thank you, Ms. Holt. Next are system recognitions, 2.03.
Good evening. We just have a couple of brief things. I just want to double check and make sure that our guest of honor is available at this moment.
She is.
Thank you so much. All right, we can move to the next slide. All right, so our March ABCD Award winner is Ms. Colette Fan. She is a special education paraprofessional located at Midland Middle School. She began with the district in 2016 as a special education paraprofessional at Reese Road Leadership Academy. She then transferred to Midland Middle School in 2017 to serve as a one-on-one paraprofessional. And then she had transitioned into an interrelated special education paraprofessional role where she continues to serve with Midland Middle School to this day. She was nominated by her principal, Miss Jennifer Staffington, and Miss Staffington had this to say about Colette. When our students exit buses in the mornings, they know that they will always see a familiar face, greeting them with a good morning. That familiar face is Mrs. Colette Fan. She goes above and beyond for our students every day, willing to help in all classrooms, no matter the situation. Mrs. Fan gets to know our students, and she's a staple in our hallways. Colette Fan has been working at Midland Middle School as a paraprofessional in the special education program for 4 years. Not one to sit, Mrs. Fan engages students, helping them with their work and assisting teachers in whatever role they need her. She is eager to work with them in order to positively advance their academic, social, and emotional well-being. She seeks out administration and colleagues to ask what she can do to help students succeed. We know that we can count on her to complete any task that we put forth. She has many talents and uses those to engage with students and faculty outside of the classroom. She participates in all chorus, orchestra, and band events, playing the piano or other instruments. She volunteers her time outside of the school day without being asked, and is happy to participate in whatever activity we might have going on. She attends athletic events, theater productions, and faculty team building activities. Everyone knows Mrs. Fan, and everyone is better for it. When I think of selfless, I think of Mrs. Fan. She wants our students to have a well-rounded experience at Midland Middle School and helps provide that to them. We are grateful that she chose Midland Middle School as her home. So at this time, we'd like to recognize Ms. Colette Fan, special education paraprofessional at Midland Middle School, for going above and beyond the call of duty.
Congratulations, Ms. Fan. Would you have a word?
Thank you. I am beyond honored and so grateful to be working at Midland. I think it's the best staff. They're so supportive, from Mrs. Sappington, Mr. May, down the line. I love going to work every day, and I love working with the students and learning about them as individuals and knowing that I can help them. I appreciate every opportunity I get. Thank you.
Congratulations again, and thank you, Mrs. Happington, for the recommendation.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Sappington.
Thank you.
If you would like a moment, please feel free to share, but no pressure.
No pressure. I do want to take this time to just acknowledge how great all of our paraprofessionals are. We're just so blessed by all of them, especially during the pandemic. A lot of them have stepped up to play the role of teacher in a lot of cases when teachers have had to be out, and Ms. Fand is no exception to that. She never knows what she's going to get when she walks in the door with us every morning, but she always takes on every role that we ask her to take on with grace. And just with the best attitude. And our teachers are so blessed to have her. We're so blessed to have her. And our students are especially blessed. So thank you, Ms. Fand, and thank you to all the paraprofessionals in Muskogee County School District for all that you do for us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. And from there, we'll go to our next slide. I believe we have one more announcement.
Yes, we have a very special recognition. I'm going to ask Chief Operations Officer David Goldberg if he would please provide us with information regarding this next surprise recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis. Thank you, board. We do have a little surprise, and every once in a while, some really, well, not really every once, but every single day in this school district, amazing things happen. Something really special happening in our transportation department with one of our most beloved employees, Pete Denoy. We've got Pete on with us today, and I'm going to let him explain what happened and who we're recognizing today as a surprise. So I'm going to turn it over to Pete. Pete?
Good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Pete.
Good afternoon.
January 20th was started out normal. And for some reason, as the day went on, I started feeling tired. Well, needless to say, I had just tested negative for the COVID-19. Well, I had spoke to Mr. Hill early that morning, and apparently he noticed something that I didn't. So he made 2 phone calls to one of my other coworkers, Miss Kimberly Dryden, who called my daughter. And it ended up that I was suffering with COVID-19. It's a miracle that I'm here today. If it wasn't for Mr. Hill's quick response, I'll probably be dead today, according to 3 different doctors. I just got out the hospital on Tuesday of last week from January 20th. So if it wasn't for Mr. Hill's quick thinking response and getting me the help that I needed, I would not be here today. And for that, I'm forever grateful.
Thank you, Mr. Denoy. It's such a touching story. And, a lot of us know Mr. Hill as, a tough guy, Army man, doesn't always have a big smile on his face. But, those of us who've been working with Ray for a while now have seen him move from an Army administrator into a public school leader. And that's what leaders do, is they take care of their people. And we just really very thankful. Here's a picture of when Mr. Hill was giving Mr. Denoy his ABCD award. Mr. Hill really cares about all of his employees, and he really goes above and beyond all the time, behind the scenes that folks don't know, because he really is a humble kind of guy. So now we're going to embarrass Mr. Hill by getting him on here and making him say something. Mr. Hill?
I can truly say this was a surprise. First of all, I would like to thank Pete and Mr. Shambly and Mr. Goldberg. To me, it's another day at the job, and sometimes we extend past our job to have that, that they're caring for our employees. And that's always been important to me. And to be honest with you, that, by me expressing my care to my employees, I realize that that's what makes them get out of bed every morning to come do what they do. COVID-19 has really hit us pretty hard in our department, from supervisors to bus drivers, even having the loss of one bus driver. And one thing that I recognized that it brought the morale down within our department. So, my fight has been, continue the mission, bring the morale back up, and make sure and check on and ensure the welfare of my people going forward, so that we have everybody here standing tall and moving forward to continue the mission. Again, like I said, I thank you for the recognition. This is a surprise. I thank everybody.
Well, I know I speak for everyone in congratulating you, Mr. Hill, and thanking you for your outstanding leadership. And also, Pete, it goes without saying that we are so glad that you are with us this evening, and we appreciate both of you for what you do for our transportation department and with all of our students each and every day. Something that a lot of times is lost is the fact that we transport about 68% of our student population by bus every single day. So you are represent an integral part of our system. But what you've done here tonight and are being recognized for is truly emblematic of the kind of servant leadership that I'm so proud that you convey in our district. So congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. Pete, glad to have you back. We've missed you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you and congratulations again and best wishes to you, Mr. Pete. All right, on the public agenda, we do not have anyone on our public agenda tonight. Ms. Elamine will reschedule at a later date, but I do want to take this opportunity to say that citizens are encouraged to address items on the board agenda or to initiate presentations of issues appropriate to school board consideration. The board meeting is not the appropriate place to review individual employee performance or individual parent complaints that have not been addressed by the principal or superintendent. Citizens are encouraged to follow normal channels to address such problems. All official meetings of the board shall be open to the press and the public. However, we may meet in executive session, which you can see down at the end of the agenda. We have one tonight. All right, moving along to our action agenda.
Before we get started, Mrs. Green, I'd like to say my usual disclaimer that we have thoroughly discussed all the items on the agenda. We iron out all the kinks on the during the work session, and we take our responsibility very serious, the public's business. And we have, so tonight, if it appears that we are going very quickly, we want you to know that all the items have been thoroughly discussed. And I want to refer back to one thing about the women's quote. I think earlier I said that I enjoyed it, and I didn't know if Mrs. McGray wanted to, she was trying to talk. I didn't know if she wanted to say anything before we went through the agenda items.
Thank you, Ms. Buckner. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I apologize. I could not hear anything, and I just saw the quote up there and I didn't know what to do and I couldn't say. But yes, the background was that in celebrating Women's History Month and various other ways of recognizing women this month, I had been reading this book recently and thought that it was a very moving quote about the empowering of women by lifting them up. And so thank y'all for sharing it earlier.
All right, thank you again. Item 4.01. Attached are the school calendars, the 2-year school calendars.
Move approval.
Motion by Ms. Williams, second by Ms. Buckner. Are there any questions?
No questions.
There was a question, I'm sorry.
I think she said no questions.
No questions.
Great, all right. We are prepared to vote now.
Well, I think city server has been lost. Please, I gotta log back again. Mrs. Green, I have to log back in.
Okay, go right ahead.
Would Ms. Buckner be able to give a verbal
Go
vote?
ahead.
I will, in the affirmative.
All right, thank you. That passes. Item 4.02.
I would very much like to move approval of the Otis Spencer Stadium project.
I'll second that. This is Kia Chambers.
Motion by Ms. Williams, second by Ms. Chambers. Are there any questions or comments? Then we are prepared to vote now. All right, that motion passes. Next item is 4.03. It's the construction project for Matthews Elementary School.
I'd like to make a motion, yes.
Motion by Mr. Cantrell, second
Naomi Buckner.
by Ms. Buckner. Are there any questions? Then we are prepared to vote now. All right, that motion passes. Item 4.04 is the construction project for Veterans Memorial Middle School.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Cantrell,
Second, Kathy Williams.
second by Ms. Williams. Are there any questions? Hearing none, we are ready to vote now. That motion passes. Next item is 4.05 is the capital outlay projects resolution.
Move approval, Kathy Williams.
Motion by
Second, Naomi Buckner.
second by Ms. Buckner. Are there any questions? Hearing none, we are ready to vote now. All right, that motion passes. Next item is 4.06 is the resolution for the completion of Forest Road Elementary School.
Move to approve.
Motion by
Second, Jackson.
motion by Ms. Buckner, second by Ms. Jackson. Are there any questions? We're ready to vote now. That motion passes. Moving along to 4.07 is the resolution for the modernization of Arnold Middle
I make a
School.
motion for Arnold, yes.
By Mr.
I
Cantrell,
second that motion as well. Kia Chambers.
Ms. Chambers, are there any questions? All right, that motion passes. Sorry about that delay. Item 4.08 is next. That's the item for surplus and sale of property.
Move to approve.
Motion by Ms.
Okay.
Chambers,
Second by Ms. Buckner.
second by Ms. Buckner. Are there any questions? Hearing none, we're ready to vote now.
Still waiting on a vote from Kia Chambers.
That motion passes. And then next we have our consent agenda. Board members.
Move approval of the consent agenda as is.
Second, Naomi Buckner.
Williams, second by Ms. Buckner. Are there any questions or do we need something pulled out for an further explanation?
I have a question about the budget parameters before we vote.
All right.
Would this be the only time that we can sort of change this or add to this for the 2022?
I would imagine that we could change it or add to it at any time if that's the will of the board, if the majority of the board wants to do such.
Okay. Sounds good. I mean,
you just never, Kia, you never know what's going to come up between now and the adoption. So I've seen where we've had to regroup and change a parameter just because of a cutback or something. So I think it's up to the will of the board. If I'm not mistaken, Pat.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
You have a particular question, Ms. Chambers, though?
Yes, I do. I have a couple of things that I want to address. But if we are able to adopt this and come back and talk about it later, I'll get with finance first so that we won't have that discussion in the general board meeting. But do want to talk about some additional parameters for teachers.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the board's parameters, so we'll come back after you get your questions addressed.
Can I ask something?
We'll go ahead and vote tonight. Anything else?
Yes, can I ask something, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on this here, it's showing no furlough days for employees for next year. Is that correct?
That is the plan. Correct. Yes, sir.
That's every year. No furloughs.
That's always the plan.
Well, right,
No furloughs and no risks.
Thank you.
We do want to put that out as special this year after last year that is being built, especially with that goal in mind for next year.
That's right.
That's why I specifically put it in this year in the parameters. So it's noted that way.
That's why I said that.
Yes. Anything else?
How many state commissions charter schools do we have?
0.
What's the $36 million for state commission charter schools in the parameters?
That's from I think you're reading from the governor's state budget.
Statewide? Okay. So we don't have any.
At the top, it lists the governor's budget items, and then below is the local.
Okay, gotcha.
So there's reference.
Okay, sounds good.
And the mill levy is staying exactly the same for 22?
That too is the plan.
Yes, sir. Well, that's good. You got to have a plan. That's right. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. No, nothing else. We're ready to vote now for the consent. And as always, we like to thank our donors. We really appreciate the partnership and the support of public education.
Don't have a vote from Ms. Chambers.
All right, the consent agenda passes. All right, next, board members, we have an executive session for a legal matter. Need to-
Bring up one quick thing.
Okay.
As we mentioned last week in regards to the budget calendar, that to make our school board calendar coincide with the budget calendar and to avoid having 3 meetings in June, we'll be looking next month at moving our work session from June 14th to the 7th. So I just want to go ahead and pull that out. It won't be official until next month, but just if anybody starts making any plans in June, know that we are looking to consolidate still to 2 meetings, but it would be the 7th and the 21st instead of having 3 different Mondays. Is that clear enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam
Thank
Chair,
you.
I just had one thing, if I may.
Go right ahead.
Well, I just want to take this opportunity to thank our community partners, the Department of Public Health, our EMTs and other community partners working in concert with so many volunteers from our district, spearheaded by our district team with Tracy Fox as our Director of Risk Management. As you probably have heard and know as a public at large, that we had a mass vaccination site that we hosted at Connect Stadium last Thursday and vaccinated 1,300 employees on one day. And that would never have happened as fluidly as it did, as concisely and well organized as it did. The execution was flawless. And that's again attributed to an awful lot of people, too many to name here. But I am just so pleased and proud of our team and for offering this opportunity for our employees. And also the same opportunity is being extended to this Friday, March 19th. So we want to encourage any employee who still wishes to have the vaccination done. It is the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, one and done. And so if you have not yet signed up for that and would like to do so, check your email or check with your supervisor. We'll make sure you get signed up and scheduled for that vaccination. But again, I just wanted to say publicly how much I appreciate all of the work of our community partners and all of our volunteers in the district who made that such a successful event.
Madam Chair, if I may, point of personal privilege.
Okay.
I've submitted a letter in writing to the leadership of the board to inform you that the nonprofit that I'm employed by has plans, hopefully, if the public-private partnerships all come together and the capital stack works its magic, to acquire a piece of property that is located in the TAD district number 8 of the cities. I have requested legal opinions from both the city, school board, and attorney general. There does not appear to be a conflict of interest. However, in an abundance of caution, I want to personally go ahead and inform the board that there may be a perceptional conflict of interest. And so therefore it is my intention to abstain from any board discussion, any board vote whatsoever that may come before the Board of Education as it has to do with the city's TAD number 8. Again, this is in an abundance of caution. We do not have an interest. I do not personally have an interest and will never have an interest in this, but the nonprofit organization that I am employed by wishes to build affordable housing in South Columbus to help with our affordable housing crisis. So I just want to make sure everybody is aware that if, and I do say if, I don't know, when possibly this comes before the board, I will completely abstain, recuse, and leave any discussion. So thank you very much, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it is always just in an abundance of caution when there is a perception, even though there is no legal reason, or in that case that would be illegal, just a perception, and you're doing the right thing. And just remind us again, whenever we're coming up for a vote, that you're going to abstain.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair, Dr. Lewis, I just want to compliment on the shot. I guess it was last Thursday. I might have my days off, but it was outstanding. From the time I drove in, all the personnel, I'd never seen that many people go so smooth in cars at one time. And it just, we went in from 1 to 1:30, and it was just not a minute off of anything. So congratulations to everybody that had their hands to do on that there. I mean, it was a large outing, and I'm tickled to death to have my shot, to tell you the truth. It's it just makes me feel more safe, and I just appreciate everybody, and Dr. Lewis, appreciate you getting that going from the governor and getting it up and running for all of our employees at the Muskogee County School District. It was just wonderful, and hopefully it's going to be a big help as far as people's health.
Thank you,
One
Mr.
last thing I did want to say, I had a note here that the Carver Girl Tiger basketball team are state champions yet again. So congratulations to them on tremendous performance. It was really not very close from tip off on. They were ahead most of the time, and just really proud of the Carver Girls basketball team, Coach Hunley, and all the staff. Great job.
Great job. Great job. Very exciting to have state champions again. And I'm sure in May we will recognize them at some point. I guess May, when we recognize all of the student accomplishments and state championships. So again, kudos and congratulations to the George Washington Lady Carver Tigers. Anyone have anything else? All right. Yes.
Madam Chair,
Executive session.
A legal matter.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Buckner, second by Ms. Williams. And all in favor, aye, or raise your hand so I can see you. All right, that passes, and we will now go into executive session.
All right. If you can, Madam Chair, we're going to run our closing with our statement. And as soon as that's done, all of us will back out and leave the executive session.
Thank you very much. Turn your videos off.